Ms. Poh Li San.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, Budget 2022 is balanced and designed with a clear focus on better preparing Singaporeans for the future. Most measures address concerns such as a green economy, assistance for badly affected businesses, and supporting skills upgrading. The budget is fair and inclusive. The Finance Minister has shared that by raising the top-tier tax rates from 22 to 24%, an additional $170 million of tax revenue could be collected. Over the past year, there has been a 30% increase in the number of millionaires in Singapore, from around 207,000 in 2019 to 270,000 in 2020. The personal income tax rate varies in different countries. It is around 37% in the United States, 40% in Switzerland, 56% in Japan, and 45% in China. Comparatively, even though our top marginal personal income tax is 24%, it is still relatively low compared to these developed countries. Singapore's top-tier earners should find the revised tax rate favorable. Over the past week, I have spoken to several high-income earning Singaporeans. It's heartening to know that most high earners agree that the business-friendly social and commercial conditions in Singapore have helped them succeed and prosper. Some are supportive of the higher taxes to provide for heavier social spending. They understand that the changes to the tax system are necessary for the sustainability and stability of Singapore's infrastructure, conducive policies, secure environment, and well-developed digital infrastructure. Singapore has moved into a different phase of development. Going forward, Singaporeans should expect more tax changes to meet the demands of the changing demographics and economic conditions, with the top-tier earners expecting to contribute even more towards the tax revenues. Some high-income earners may feel that they have worked very hard for their success and that it's not fair to have to share with others who did not work as hard as they did. I do agree that nothing is absolutely fair and it's never possible to completely justify who should be paying more or less taxes. However, it is important to cultivate the growth mindset that those who can afford to pay a little more taxes should do so. Even with the higher tax revenue, the cost of living and doing business will still continue to rise. We will have to manage the rising inflation while maintaining our economy's competitiveness. One major area of concern is the push for productivity gains, especially in view of the curbs in foreign labour inflows as a result of the COVID pandemic. Over the past decades, the availability of low-cost foreign workers has benefited business owners and kept businesses running competitively. To add, these foreign workers are willing to perform labour-intensive jobs which Singaporeans tend to shun. We have to find a way to wean ourselves off the heavy reliance on foreign labour, as the easy availability of foreign workers has depressed our blue-collar workers' wages, and it will continue to do so. There is no easy solution, and we will need to assist our low-wage Singaporean workers by slowing the supply of foreign labour. I am concerned that even with the government's progressive wage credit scheme to support part of the wage increases, businesses will still have to pass along some cost increases to customers and consumers. Through the progressive wage model and the workfare incentives supplement, we have been increasing wages to attract more Singaporeans to take on various jobs, especially those that are currently taken on by foreign workers. Though it's a difficult period for many businesses that are facing severe manpower crunch, we should persist in this workforce transformation and build a strong Singaporean core. We must try to continue to hire more locals. In tandem, we need to redesign the operations and job processes and improve the working conditions for lower wage jobs. While Singaporeans need to change their attitude towards lower wage jobs, business owners should also shift their mindset and relook at how to improve the work conditions that have been deterring Singaporeans to take on such roles. Having said that, workers will always take on jobs with remuneration that justifies. I would also like to appeal to the government to provide more support to social enterprises. Many social enterprises employ untapped resources that include post-retirement seniors and high-functioning special needs individuals. These senior workers can remain active and sharp. With some tweaks in the job roles, this particular group of workers can assist in certain jobs previously done by foreign workers. Though easier said than done, we should automate whenever possible. Understandably, many businesses are reluctant to invest in the capital expenditure required for automation. However, new technology and improved business processes is a must. I hope the Ministry will consider providing better assistance to our SMEs to offset the upfront cost for automation and innovation. Assistance schemes could be interest-free loans or grants to partially offset initial capex investment, particularly for initial large investments required for scaling up automation. Mr. Deputy Speaker, I will now speak in Mandarin. 我们在改革税收制度方面正朝着正确的方向前进，但我认为政府还可以做得更多。退休人士将受到生活费上涨和明年后实施的消费税增加的双重打击。定薪与援助配套和消费税补助券，例如乐龄花红的现金补助，将抵消消费税增加。但因为积蓄有限，退休人士仍然担心援助期间结束过后呢，有特别需要的，担心援助期间结束后将如何？有特别需要成员的家庭也没有额外的帮助。政府是否会考虑多支持社会企业？帮助有兴趣的退休人士和有特别需要但持有工作能力的国人与微型工作相匹配。对于那些有能力的人，与合适的任务相匹配，能让他们补充家庭收入，并在我们的社区做出贡献时，更有意义地参与其中。We will be starting a wellness kampong for seniors in Sembawang West constituency. This will be a common space at the Void Deck where residents come together to socialize and exercise. There will also be an urban farm on the rooftop of a multi-story car park next to it that will provide micro-jobs for the seniors. It can be a modern-day kampong where residents exchange information about job opportunities like babysitting, tuition, part-time jobs, handyman jobs, etc. I would like to ask government agencies such as HDB and SFA to be supportive of such community initiatives and review their rules and regulations to facilitate more of such projects that can easily provide positive social impact. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I will now move on to the topic of a greener and more sustainable Singapore. Green capital, including carbon taxes and green bonds, is the catalyst to jumpstart our transition to a green economic ecosystem. The issuance of green bonds will allow the government and businesses to invest in new technology and build a strong foundation for a green ecosystem. These bonds will greatly reduce the financial risks to our government, especially for mega infrastructure investment projects, for green energy production, and for transition to greener business models. As an example, the transformation to a more sustainable Jurong Island. Though the newly introduced phased carbon tax increase will help businesses cope and transit more gradually to greener practices, there has been little mention of grants for developing talents needed to support the green economy. R&D for renewable energy production and energy optimization technologies is important. Presently, many countries are fighting for talents to support their sustainability-related industries. It is advisable to start positioning Singapore as a serious regional green hub. We will need the talent to build our green industries. It is also time for us to invest more in the training and nurturing of a new generation of innovators and engineers for the sustainability sector. In recent years, many young talents have pursued careers with big IT firms that have set up headquarters in Singapore. We also need to proactively plan for some of our very own Singaporeans to pursue engineering, in particular, environment engineering. Advanced technology is the key to unlocking many constraints in harnessing renewable energy and achieving circularity in waste management. The government must do more to signal to the nation about the importance of having the talents in engineering and R&D. Mr. Deputy Speaker, in the final segment of my speech, I will share my concerns on the burgeoning spending on social services, in particular in healthcare expenditure as Singapore enters into a rapid aging phase. On top of channeling resources on geriatric care and building more community hospitals, I urge the Ministry of Health to focus more on upstream prevention healthcare services such as free annual health screening services for Singaporeans above 35 years old, as early intervention and treatments are often more effective and less expensive. The preventive efforts should also focus on encouraging the younger population to live a healthier and more active lifestyle. As we recover from the pandemic, more aggressive efforts should be put into community programs focusing on nutrition and fitness. Although these programs will take time and concerted efforts, this may well be the best approach to reverse the rising trend of healthcare spending resulting from diabetes and obesity. Mr. Deputy Speaker, I would like to say something in Malay about preventive healthcare. Dengan populasi yang semakin menua, amat penting bagi kita mendapatkan semua rakyat Singapura penjagaan kesihatan pencegahan awal untuk mengharungi gelombang tsunami warga emas. Hala tuju yang betul adalah untuk merancang kehadapan untuk jangka panjang dengan menggalakkan perbelanjaan ke arah penjagaan kesihatan, pencegahan dan berasaskan masyarakat. Malangnya, sejak Menteri Kesihatan Encik Gan Kim Yong mengisytiharkan perang terhadap diabetes pada tahun 2016, kelaziman diabetes ialah 9.5% pada tahun 2019, meningkat daripada 8.6% pada tahun 2016. Kelaziman diabetes adalah lebih tinggi dalam kalangan orang Melayu dan India masing-masing pada 14.4% dan 14.2% berbanding dengan orang Cina pada 8.2%. Adakah pemerintah akan mempertimbangkan untuk memperuntukkan lebih banyak sumber untuk menyesuaikan langkah-langkah kesihatan untuk membantu menurunkan kelaziman di kalangan kumpulan etnik yang berbeza, mungkin terhadap perbezaan genetik, diet dan gaya hidup yang perlu ditangani secara khusus untuk menyiasatkan masalah ini dengan lebih berkesan. The frequent consumption of sugary drinks may cause diabetes and obesity. I'm concerned about the mushrooming of bubble tea outlets all over Singapore over the past few years. Another concern is the prevalence of binge drinking among Singaporeans. Young adults in the 18 to 39 years age group were most likely to binge drink in pubs and bars. Binge drinking may cause a whole host of health problems as well as unsafe acts such as driving under the influence of alcohol. Binge drinking has risen to 10.5%. As part of a suite of preventive healthcare measures, I hope the government is looking to regulate and reduce the number of bubble tea outlets, pubs, and bars. Another major area of concern is mental health, particularly worsened due to the pandemic. Mental health issues are unseen. It is hard to understand the real extent of this social and health malaise. It is particularly debilitating because many young people are afflicted and the damage can be very long-term or dire. We have no choice but to ensure that we have qualified professionals and allocate sufficient resources in our healthcare systems to provide treatment and support for those affected. On this note, I would like to inquire from Minister for Health on the progress of the National Mental Health Competency Training Framework. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, our people are our most precious resource and we must put in our best efforts to help them stay in good health, physically and mentally, so that they can attain their highest potential and live a happy life as Singaporeans. We are a small nation and there are only so few of us. All the more we need to take care of one another and leave no one behind. And we need to stay united to survive in a competitive global environment. The budget has established a good framework for all of us to work together for our common future. And I would like to conclude with my support for the budget. Thank you.